Hey, it's Emily Williams, the founder of I Heart My Life and your host of the I Heart My Life show. This is episode 108, an event recap, real shifts from our I Heart Money workshop. So today's a really special episode. I actually have 4 live coaching clients here on the line with me to talk all about their biggest shifts from our recent I Heart Money workshop. So this workshop was a 2-day experience where I supported about 150 women from all around the world in transforming their money mindset. So we were actually live doing coaching hot seats, teaching, having breakout sessions, and it was honestly one of the most incredible things we've ever done in our company. The takeaways were absolutely amazing. People were making money literally there on the line. There were people who were getting amazing ideas, new programs that they wanted to create. They were networking with one another. Doors were opening due to new relationships forming. People were having big ahas about belief systems that were holding them back. So today I invited these 4 amazing business owners to come together and share their personal experience of the workshop, and more importantly, of money mindset work itself, and how they've been able to move through some of their old programming and limiting beliefs to create wealth, $20,000 months, new ways of thinking about money, new relationships, and ultimately take action to move towards the big picture vision that they have for themselves, their life, and their business. So I'd love for you to definitely listen to this episode, but also listen for a little bit of inspiration and intuition around what you feel is your next step in terms of transforming your money mindset. So you'll probably resonate with a lot of what they share, some of their own beliefs that they had to work through, and some of their big aha moments. So definitely take note at what is kind of calling you and where you need to head next. And I want to make you aware that we are actually hosting this workshop live again at the end of June 2020. It's going to be June 25th and 26th. So go to iheartmylife.com and you'll see information about our workshop, or you can go to iheartmoneyworkshop.com and that will take you directly to be able to sign up. And I want to let everyone know that as a special listener of the podcast, you are actually going to get a discounted rate on this workshop. So instead of $97, it will be $23. So use the code INSIDER to be able to get that massive discount and join us on the I Heart Money workshop. This episode is sponsored by our I Heart Money workshop. Go to iheartmoneyworkshop.com to learn more. This is an incredible 2-day event where I support you in going deeper with your own money blocks that are stopping you from creating the wealth that you desire and deserve. I talk to you all about the universal laws that will help you make more money than ever before and break through all the barriers that are keeping you stuck and broke. You're going to get the chance to learn from my expert coaches who are joining me to talk more about making money through high performance, through marketing, through team and processes. You're also going to be able to network with some incredible like-minded women who have big dreams and the desire for even bigger bank accounts. This 2-day experience is something that's going to be completely transformative. It's going to help you make more money than ever before, and it's a not to miss event to set yourself up for massive success in the months and years to come. So go to iheartmoneyworkshop.com and claim your spot for 75% off using the promo code INSIDER for being a member of this incredible I Heart My Life show community. So again, iheartmoneyworkshop.com, use the promo code INSIDER, and I'll see you there. All right. So I want to get right to it and introduce our first guest here. Dannielle is with us all the way from the UK. So welcome, Dannielle.
Hi.
So excited to have you here. So tell everyone a little bit about who you are and the work that you do in the world.
Okay, so I am Dannielle LeCointe-Mosca. I'm here in the UK, and I would say now that I would hold the title of creative coach. I basically help creatives go into the world with courage and attack their creativity with courage. My background, I've been a choreographer and in the arts and entertainment world for 20 years now, seems very long. And over that journey, learned a lot, and I just want to see creatives just do more with their creativity.
Beautiful. I love it. So, being that you're a creative, we all know there's a lot of interesting opinions about what's possible for creatives in terms of making money and running businesses. So, can you share a little bit more about what your money mindset beliefs were specifically before diving into this type of work?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, as a creative, you you experience some really great jobs, some really great work, but there is little guidance on what to do with that money, where to take it, how to invest it. And for my journey personally, I didn't grow up knowing where to put my money. I didn't grow up knowing, to save this or do that or this percentage or anything like that. And I came across some real great chunks of money, done amazing work, but would find myself kind of just falling down a rabbit hole and going into a cycle over and over again. Ended up in that same situation of, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Or how am I going to pay my bills? And my philosophy now is I really want to help people to make money that pays more than their bills, because I totally think that that's possible now. But back then, I had no understanding that's what was possible, that we'd go in these never ending cycles. And I used to be very, very overcome by anxiety and worry and get to, an end of, I can say that the end of the month, but really and truly it could be 2 months, you're waiting for money to come in, you're worried about money. And so it was a never ending cycle for me.
Thank you for sharing that so openly. And I know a lot of people resonate. They feel like they have just enough and that there's never any more left over for anything additional or for savings. And I know that the guidance that we receive growing up is not necessarily geared towards what to do with our money, how to invest, how to save, and all of that incredibly important information. And
Absolutely.
So you came in, you're a part of our mastermind, I know, but you were also part of the money workshop. Was there anything in particular that stood out to you about what you learned on the money workshop? Or were there any ahas, anything you felt like was a light bulb moment for you or a shift?
Yeah, well, what's so interesting is that in 2018, I think it was, I discovered the I Heart My Life community and this concept of money mindset. And, in my head, I'm like, what is this? Like, I need to know what this is. I want to do better. And it was at that point, I actually started the journey. I did a course, and that blew my mind. Like, that physically blew my mind. I didn't understand, didn't even recognize that this was possible, to go into your money story and uncover this and, look into these limited beliefs. No one's teaching this. No one knows this. And it's like, this is obvious. We have to do this work. And so going on that journey, I think that's been the beginning, the uncovering. And so doing the 2-day virtual mindset work with you was, it was just that digging deep, because there were certain things in there that was like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course. Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. So one of the things that I think I wasn't taking on board is that our desires are truth. I think I'd been settling with, this is the circumstance. So even though I've done some of the money mindset work, you never stop learning, do you? So my desires are my truth. So I need to engage with those desires. And also the area of, where is the money going? That, I think, is a deal breaker. Where's the money going? Because it's not just about focusing on the money. It's about what the money is going to do. It's about where the money is going to go. And it takes your mind off of just figures, so to speak, but actually the desires. And then that stirs up fun and abundance and gratitude and happiness, because you're really focused on where it's going. So that was an aha moment, the desires, knowing that they are truth.
Yeah, and that the money is there. So I believe that, if the desire is there, the money is also there. And I think having that awareness, and like you said, even though was it the I Heart Money course that you did?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, even though you've done that before, I think what people fail to recognize sometimes is that as you're going to the next level, whether it's financially or just really in any way, if you're looking to hire a team, if you're looking to expand and grow or raise your prices, you've never done that before. And so it's like you're building a new muscle. And so there will be resistance that comes up. And that's why it's so important to consistently do this work and practice what we teach in our company, because things will derail you and fears will come up and things you didn't expect to try and throw you off track may try and do so. And so it's really important that you have that awareness and you're consistently just devouring this type of work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that, Dannielle. I appreciate your story.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for creating this.
Awesome. All right. Our next guest today is Jenelle. So welcome. You are live on the podcast, Jenelle.
Hi, Emily. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Can you tell the world and our listeners who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Jenelle and I run startyourboutique.com, where I help moms who have had a long held dream to start an online boutique finally start making progress towards that. And so I used to be a fashion buyer and I lost my job during the last recession in 2010. And I ended up finding e-commerce and, through lots of failures, I was able to finally find success. And so I'm basically teaching women that blueprint.
Love it. And I know you recently celebrated a big money month, which was super exciting.
Very exciting.
I love that. So tell people a little bit more about, coming from the world of being a buyer to obviously starting your own business. There's a lot of transformation that has to happen in terms of mindset. So what were maybe some of the blocks or some of the things that you had to move through as you started your own business?
Well, I didn't even know that I had issues until now, like looking back with all the work that I'm doing now. And so even though I was a business owner, I still had a lack mindset. And I feel like it, in the beginning, held me back from my full potential because, as you know, the decisions that you make as a business owner are going to be tied to the mindset that you have. So, it was a total lack mindset, and that ties into one of the breakthroughs that I had with the I Heart Money workshop, where James was talking about in his high performance breakout session, he was talking about how it's so important to take care of yourself in order for you to perform in your business at the highest capacity. And in my very first business, I was so stressed. I was working myself to the bone. And I ended up in the hospital actually for 2 weeks because of it. And so I can see now that it was like, obviously you were not taking care of yourself. And then you saw the physical manifestation of that as well in a sickness. So yeah, that was a lot.
That's huge. Yeah. And I think people aren't aware that there's a different way to think and that they might have a lack mindset. So can you define that a little bit more? So when you say you had a lack mindset, was it you weren't charging enough? You didn't believe the clients were there? What did that actually look like?
It was everything. So with that first business, it was actually silk pillowcases that I used to get manufactured here in New York City's garment district. And at the time, I was charging, I want to say when I first launched that business, it was around $75 per pillowcase. I did not know anyone who would pay $75 per pillowcase, but I knew that's what I had to price it at in order to make some money. Long story short, that still, there was still some issues with pricing there, but I was scared. So one, not charging enough. I didn't see in my circle anyone who could afford that, anyone who'd be willing to pay that, thinking that my circle comprised of the whole world, obviously, right? And then not enough time. So I would work myself to the bone. I remember I would tell myself, okay, so you'll eat after you get this done, because obviously I have to stay on the computer and do everything that I need to do. And I was doing all the things at that time. So do everything. And I would be starving, but I would tell myself, no, like, you're not leaving the computer until this is done. And then that also ran into a lack of time because I would, like I said, work myself to the bone. And yeah, just lack of opportunity. So it was right after the recession, during the recession. So I got this degree. I graduated from college early even. It took a while for me to get the job. Then when I finally got the job as a fashion buyer, it was basically last hired, first fired. So that even though I got a ton of experience from it, it didn't last as long as I wanted it to. So all around me, it felt like lack of opportunity. And I still took that with me into my business, thinking about like competition, like everything. So it affected me all around. Like, seriously, it was all around me lack. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people forget the fact, or they don't know that if you're thinking about a lack of money, you're most likely also thinking about lack in other areas.
Yeah.
I always say that lack of time and lack of money go hand in hand. And so that's super, super interesting that you're bringing that up. And so what do you feel was the difference maker for you? You're a part of our mastermind as well. And so I've seen some of your celebration posts, and I know, what you've achieved in the past month. What do you think was the difference for you between Jenelle back then and now Jenelle, who's created this beautiful business and is celebrating this consistent money coming in?
Oh my goodness. The biggest difference between Jenelle in that first iteration of Jenelle with the first business and then even the businesses afterwards was I removed myself from being so desperate for money to come in. So like I allowed the money to come in. I allowed myself to learn. I allowed myself to fail. I allowed myself to make better decisions based off of the failure. And then that actually allowed me to start another e-commerce business. It was a bridal boutique, and I was able to sell that profitably within 7 months of launching it. And then I was able to step into Start Your Boutique because I realized that I was making it way harder than it needs to be in all those years prior, the years when I was stressing myself out. And I realized that the success mindset was such a major part of it. And so now I know, especially with the work that I did in iHeart Money, it's definitely about always knowing and coming back to my first thought being, there's more money where that came from. And just knowing that the money is there, that it is an abundant world. And and I would say that's the biggest difference, not falling into lack whenever it tries to present itself, like to always turn and make a decision based out of abundance and fair and not faith. Faith and not fear. Correction.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And when people start to understand that energy truly is important, just like if you were to go on a date, obviously like how you show up, how you interact, your level of positivity or negativity, that affects the other person. And it's the same thing with sales and putting your work out into the world. And so if you're showing up and displaying a lack mindset or feeling guilty about charging or not believing it's going to work or thinking that there aren't any clients out there who are going to pay the money, all of that seeps into everything you're doing in your business.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I want to point out again, I'm behind the scenes with you, Jenelle, so I know all of this about you. I want to point out one shift that I think is so important that you made. You made a decision that you wanted to create money in your business through, how do I say it? Just selling certain things instead of falling into the trap of, oh, this is what I see other people doing in terms of very maybe hands-on coaching packages or hands-on support that you didn't necessarily want to be offering. And so you basically decided, I want to transform what my company structure looks like, what I'm actually selling, and I still believe that the money can come in. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So I moved from one-on-one coaching to primarily selling digital downloadable resources and having master classes as well as an online program for people to enroll into. And Yeah, it's been awesome from not having to feel like I have to be so ingrained in someone's business when I work with them one-on-one, because it does take a lot. It takes a lot of energy from me. And because I care so much about their success and the outcome, it can be draining. And so I just needed that barrier, that boundary. And so when I get people into my flagship course, my signature offer, I'm still there. I'm still present. I have a discussion area, and I am even going to offer like monthly Q&A coaching, like live on video. And so that just feels better and lighter and easier for me, but it still gives them tons of value. So I just had to find that fine line and not feel like I had to build this business, start a boutique, the same way that everyone else has their business.
Love it. And I know you were one of our hot seat participants on the workshop. Was there anything that you can share with those listening about any takeaways or ahas from that experience?
Yeah, so that was great. My issue with that was as I was making more and more money, I felt like it would be taken away from me. And it was because of this negative experience that I had where someone, produced themselves as an awesome student, but then like ran through all of my information, ran through my entire program, and then basically like said, I didn't do this. This is not me. And then filed a chargeback, disputed with her bank. And so it made me feel like horrible that someone would try to take advantage. And so you helped me work through worst case scenario. And I was able to basically take away that the go-to belief in any situation needs to be that there's more where that came from. And then knowing that my success is bigger than just any one scenario. And like, the new belief for me is knowing that my success is inevitable. So that was an amazing breakthrough. And ever since then, I've been awesome. I definitely have not had, when we discussed like those lack thoughts swarming me, even when I wake up in the morning.
Oh, amazing. So glad to hear it. Awesome, Jenelle. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. Kristen is up, and Kristen is a member of our iHeart coaching program. And so I know, Kristen, this money mindset work is a little bit newer to you. And I think one of your first, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of your first experiences was actually on the iHeart Money workshop. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Cool. So tell people who you are and what you do.
Sure. Hi, I'm Kristen Kunk. I'm a certified holistic health coach who focuses on intuitive eating and an intuitive lifestyle. Through my own personal journey over the years, I'm on a mission to help other women break free from the diets, boost their confidence and body image, and start to reclaim their own self-worth.
Amazing. So I'm going to be totally transparent with everyone listening. Kristen and I actually grew up together. And so we have very similar backgrounds and both grew up in Ohio, have amazing parents, and went to the same schools. But Kristen, we were never taught this stuff growing up, right?
Correct.
So I'm curious to know what your first, like when you signed up for the iHeart Money workshop, what was it that even drew you to sign up for something with that topic?
Sure. I was going through just a personal transition in my own life. I had been recently laid off from my 9-to-5 job, or what I was calling my safety net. I knew deep down I had always wanted to go into coaching and had been dabbling in it for a couple of years, probably about 2 to 3 years now. And I've had clients on and off. And I really took it as a sign from the universe that this was my step. This was it, it's showing me that I can do it, step into it, and that I need to really focus on coaching and make it into something, because if I didn't do it now, I was never going to do it. And I had been following you for a really long time, just because, yes, we've been personally knew each other, and also just was really amazed with everything that you had done with I Heart My Life, and saw you post about the money workshop. And I just took it as a sign from the universe. Step into it, figure this out, figure out if it is your money mindset, if it's something deeper, and really just start digging into it and take this opportunity and not let it pass me by.
I love that. It's in alignment with what we've been talking about with desires and listening to those signs. And so as you were on the workshop and you started to learn more about the methodology and what we teach, were you able to identify certain limiting beliefs or mindset shifts that needed to happen for you to create more money and grow your business?
Yes, I was able to identify a lot. We probably don't have time for all of them. But the biggest thing was I always thought I lived in an abundance mindset, but it was a really big aha moment for me when I realized that I lived in a lack mindset. And that I always thought to myself and had all these rules around when I could make money, how I could make money, why not me? Do I have enough? I never have enough. And just being jealous. And I remember on the webinar, you said, jealousy is an indication of what you want. And I really took that as like a huge aha for me to make jealousy a positive thing versus a negative thing. That's been a mantra for me that I've written down and have been going by every single day now, knowing that if I'm jealous of something, to use that more in my power and to know that that is something that I want, and that to thank them for letting me know it's possible. So for me, it was just really that whole switching my lack mindset to abundance and really digging deep of why I lived in a lack mindset and what around me was limiting me. What was I tolerating? Why wasn't I taking action and stepping forward? And it was just a really big aha moment for me.
Yeah, that piece around jealousy. I remember when I first heard that, I don't even remember. I think it was Maston Kipp years ago. He mentioned that just really casually. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's incredible. Because I mean, you maybe were similar to me. I was always taught, jealousy is wrong. We shouldn't envy other people. And I didn't know what to do with that emotion besides try and bury it. And it made me feel bad. And so when I finally learned that it was an indication of what I wanted, and I could thank the person who was showing me what was possible, that was so freeing. And I felt like I finally had clarity.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And, that jealousy piece for me was just when that clicked. And when you said that, it was just such an eye opener to take something that I had looked at so negatively and put it in and flip the switch and put it in such a positive, manner for myself, that it was an amazing moment.
And what else in terms of your business did you identify? Because obviously after that, like I said, you went on to join our iHeart coaching program. So was there something that shifted in terms of, showing up and really moving forward with your dreams?
When you opened the webinar, you said something to the extent of, if you wanted the life you desire, you could have already had it already. And that one hit me like a ton of bricks, because I realized in that moment, I just really worried about the how all the time. And it paralyzed me from taking action. And I was also just so terrified to fail, and that if my business didn't actually, pull in the income that I wanted it to pull in, or be as successful as, I deeply desire it to be, that if I just didn't take the action, I could stay safe. So when you said that, that was just another huge piece for me of forget the how. If you really want this, do it, and continue to listen to the universe. It brought you this sign, you're on this webinar, step into it, and just forget figuring it out. Just keep saying yes to yourself and take that action.
Amazing. And I'm laughing over here because I know a lot of people have actually written to me and posted about that exact moment, because I think it was Tanya in one of our groups. So shout out to Tanya. She said she basically was like, how dare you? If I wanted it that bad, I'd have it already. What are you talking about? And then she finally got it as we went through. And that's been something I've been personally thinking about a lot. Like if I do actually truly desire something and I don't yet have it, what is the issue here? What is stopping me? Because there's been plenty of things, same with you and all of the ladies here. There have been plenty of things that we've brought to life in our businesses and in our lives and in relationships or with our health, and we've made those things happen. So what is the difference between where we are now and where we actually want to be?
And just with all the introspection we were taking during the webinar, it just really inspired me to continue to dig deeper. And that was a huge motivator for me to then raise my hand and sign up for iHeart Coaching, because I realized there was just a lot more I needed to understand about my mindset, myself, and why I am not the quickest to take action. If this is something I so deeply desire, like why am I not doing it? So that was a huge motivator for me.
Yeah. And I think so often people are nervous about uncovering the truth. Like you said, part of your thought process was, well, what if I fail? What if this doesn't turn out the way I want it to? But when we start to look at all those fears, we realize, okay, well, not taking action means I'm guaranteeing that it's not going to happen. Whereas if I do take action and I trust what I'm being called to do, then at least there's a really great chance that I'll get closer to my dreams and make this a reality. And so sometimes when we acknowledge what the fear actually is, it lessens the power.
Yeah. And also when I was starting to dig in with my own, coaching and what I want to do for other women around confidence and self-worth, it also made me just take inventory for myself. I've done all the work from a health and well-being standpoint, but from a business and mindset standpoint, to look at it through that lens was really interesting for me too. And a huge piece of the puzzle that for me was missing, but now that we are figuring out now.
Yeah, we can think about the ways we've already applied these success practices to our health or other areas. Like you've already accomplished so much in that area, and now it's just transferring that to the business.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Kristen. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, we're going back to the UK. We have Suzie with us. Hello, Suzie.
Hi, Emily. Thanks for having me here today.
Of course. Tell everyone listening a little bit about you and the work that you do.
Okay, so I'm a mindset coach and business mentor, and I help executive assistants build a successful virtual assistant business by helping them address the stories that they're telling themselves, addressing the self-doubt, the lack of confidence, the lack of self-belief, and really helping them step into trusting in their abilities and truly believing in themselves so they can fulfill their potential and really just live their passion and do what they really want to do in their life.
Love it. And so obviously you've had some experience doing this mindset work, doing the confidence work. But for you, as you were coming into not only this workshop, but us working closely together, what were some of the limiting beliefs or mindset blocks that you had around money?
I had so much fear around money. So the way that I ended up leaving corporate and starting my business was through quite a serious mountain bike accident about 3 years ago now. And what I noticed when I left and what we worked on in the money mindset workshop was the belief that I can't make money in my business, but I can make money in the 9 to 5. And when we looked at that and drilled it down, I discovered that my dad had this belief and wish for me and this desire for me to get a job, to be in the 9 to 5, have that safety and security, or what he thought was safe and secure. And I was blocking my abundance, my wealth, with the belief that I can't make money in my business because I thought I was surpassing my dad's wishes for me, even though he's in spirit. So energetically, I felt like I was holding myself back.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And I want everyone listening who maybe hasn't done this money mindset work. A lot of what we do is we take a look at some of the generational programming and belief systems that we got from our parents and grandparents and the way in which we were brought up and how we think. And obviously this doesn't just apply to money. It applies to a lot of different areas of life. But Suzie, I know you identified that a lot of your current belief systems were passed down from your dad.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to do with trust and him not trusting me. And, I know that he was just trying to keep me safe. And when I was 16, he gave me the ultimatum, 2 years extra education and out to work. So I fell, and I don't think I realized it at the time at such a young and tender age. But later on, years later, I realized it wasn't serving me, that I wanted to have a choice. And the choice I wanted to have was to leave the 9 to 5. And now I love helping and inspiring women assistants to make a choice which is right for them as well, and to know that they are so worthy of that. They can achieve anything. As you say yes to your dreams.
Yeah. And I just got goosebumps when you said that, because that's truly why I do this work. It breaks my heart thinking of people not moving forward with their dreams, like all of you ladies here today, for fear of what people think. But also, one of the other main reasons is this fear of not being able to make money for yourself. And it like kills me, because money is an abundant resource. And yet most people don't believe that. And so they use it as the reason not to move forward with their dreams and help other people. And so you totally hit the nail on the head, Suzie. Like, you had to start to believe that you could do this for yourself. And now it's a domino effect. You're able to help other people because you got out of your own way, moved past your fear, and have started to shift these limiting beliefs.
Absolutely. And one of the things that really, really hit home for me, it was a simple statement, but after I had the accident and a variety of different things that happened in my life that weren't necessarily within my control around finances, wealth, and abundance. And I remember you saying to me, if I lost my business and my home today, no one can take away my knowledge. I can rebuild. And that really hit me, because there was a good period of time where I constantly thought every single day, what if I lose my home? What if I can't pay the bills? What if I become homeless? Focusing so much on that fear. And when you said that to me, it just, a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, I can rebuild. But also I knew it wasn't going to happen. But I knew like so much was possible. I could achieve so much. So for me, that was just a real breakthrough moment. I didn't need to let my fears consume me. There is enough abundance in the world. There are enough clients out there for me, for everyone.
Totally. And that's such an important point, because so many people think, well, what if I make all this money and then I lose it? Or what if I don't know how to handle it? And it's so important that you follow that fear and recognize, I've done this for myself, because I grew up with entrepreneurs all around me, but I also had a dad who went through bankruptcy, 2 grandpas who went through bankruptcy. And so I always had this fear of, well, what if that happens to me? And I realized, well, I've built this incredible network. I now have all this knowledge, which, like you said, Suzie, no one could take from me. And so I would just rebuild my business. And if that's the worst case scenario, I think I can handle it.
Exactly. And for me, similar to you, Emily, my dad was made bankrupt. He was not necessarily an entrepreneur, but a business owner. He had a plumbing and heating business, and he ran his own company. And I know he was trying to keep me safe, but there is more than enough. And I think, as you say, again, people get stuck in thinking that they can't make that money. But if you have that lack mentality, then that's what you're going to create more of. And just through I Heart My Coaching, I've really started to shift my beliefs. Another belief that I had that I shifted in the I Heart Money program, or the 2 days that we did, was that those in the mastermind, which is your other program, will get better results than, the people in I Heart Coaching, or the other people in I Heart Coaching will get results and I won't. And it was running around my head for days and days and days. And I did your money mindset workshop, and it's just completely gone. I know that's not true. I know it was just fear trying to keep me safe.
It's amazing what that awareness does. It's, again, like we said, it helps to lessen the fear when you're like, oh, okay, this is my mind just trying to throw me off course, or this is actually my grandma talking at the moment, or this is just, an insecurity. It's not actually the truth. Thank you for sharing that, Suzie.
You're welcome.
Amazing. So I'm so inspired by all of you. I want to host another money workshop, which I know we will do. I'll talk about that another time. But thank you so much for being so honest and open with all your transformations. And I hope everyone listening just understands that everything you ladies have shared is also possible for them. Final thing I would love to share. We always ask all of our guests this one question. So Dannielle, can you tell our audience what one way is that they can create a life that's better than their dreams?
I would say doing the mindset work to believing it, going into that place and reprogramming so that their focus is on where they're going. and they become unapologetic about where they're going, that is going to get them to a place where they're going to create a life better than their dreams, because they're going to be focused on making them reality.
Thank you. Amazing. I know I put you on the spot. Thanks.
You did.
Jenelle, what about you? What would be your suggestion?
Piggybacking off of that, I know in addition to the mindset work, I would tell everyone to know that you have everything you need right now inside of yourself to live your dream life. Like, you have these dreams for a reason, because obviously everyone does not even have the same dreams. So your dreams are valid. And if you are meditating on the fact that I have everything I need right now to live my dream life, I have everything I need right now to live my dream life, and you are going to open yourself up to opportunities. We all have skills and talents that you can monetize, especially online. You can monetize them online in order to make the money to live your life, whether that's, vacationing for half the year, or giving it away and things like that, and being a philanthropist, whatever you want. But you can change your life right now with what you have. You can start where you are simply by tapping into the resources and skills that you have available to you right now.
Love it. What about you, Kristen?
My advice would be make decisions from your heart and not your mind. Your mind will try to talk you out of it, where your heart is where your desires live, and you know that's what you want. And so hand in hand with that, say yes, and just continue to say yes to things moving forward that light your heart up.
Thank you. Love it. And Suzie?
I think it goes back to the mindset work, but also I'd add there is just to trust that the money is coming, believe that it's coming, and to focus on abundance, focus on, the wealth, and trust that the money is coming, because it absolutely is. Because when we get ourselves into that vibrational or emotional set point of trust and excitement and positivity, we're able to manifest the money much faster, and it makes us feel good. So just trust that the money is coming, trust that the clients are there, and believe that you're enough, because you can do this. We are all living proof of that right here on this podcast.
Thank you. And final question, I'd love for the audience to know where to find all of you. So Dannielle, can you share your website or social media? Where can people find you?
So my website is iempower.co.uk, and it's empower with an I, not an E, because it's I am power. So every individual knows that they are power. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm normally on there at this Dannielle. So literally THIS and then Dannielle with a double N. And that's where you can find me.
Thank you. What about you, Jenelle?
So you can find me online at startyourboutique.com. And then I am on all social media, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook at Start Your Boutique.
Thank you. And Kristen?
You can find me at kristenkunk.com, and then on Instagram, it's at kristenkunk.
Great. And Suzie?
You can find me at suzieflynn.com. I'll spell it because there's many different ways to spell my name. There's SUZIE, F for Freddie, LYNN for November. That's my website. I spend a lot of my time on LinkedIn. So again, if you pop my name into LinkedIn, Suzie Flynn, you'll find me there. And I also have a Facebook page, Suzie Flynn Coaching. That's where you can find me.
Amazing. Thank you everyone for your time. I'm so grateful, and I just feel so blessed to get to work with amazing women like you who are impacting the world, following your dreams, and showing other people what's possible. So thank you so much, ladies. I hope you loved today's episode. I'm so grateful that those ladies chose to join us and share their personal experiences and transformations. If you want to achieve your own money mindset shifts, definitely register for our next workshop coming up very soon. Go to iheartmoneyworkshop.com. Remember, use that promo code INSIDER. Join me on the 2-day experience and make more money than ever before to support you and your family in achieving those big dreams. I'll see you there. Thank you for listening to the I Heart My Life show. For more inspiration, success tips, and ways to achieve your life and business goals, definitely follow me on Facebook and Instagram on I Heart My Life Now. See you next time.